Hello programmers. Today we are going to explore some interesting operations we can perform on strings, concatenation and replication. These operations allow us to combine strings and create repeated patterns using strings, which can be very useful in many programming scenarios. Before we jump into the video, please subscribe to my channel. That motivates me to create more such videos. To begin with, we have very versatile plus operator. In Python, operators can behave differently depending on the data types they are working with. Let's look at the plus operator as an example. Let me enter Python shell, and with numbers, integers or floating point numbers, plus performs an addition. So if you do 5 plus 3, it will perform an addition and it will return the sum of both the numbers. If we do 5.0 plus 5.6, it will do addition even in this case as well. If it is an integer or a floating point number, plus operator will perform addition. But when it comes to strings, the plus becomes the string concatenation operator. Meaning, let's say I'll do Dinesh plus Verma. So you can see that it joins the strings together, creating a new string that combines the text of both original strings. And there are some concatenation limits as well in Python. So Python is very strict about the types of data you can concatenate. You cannot directly concatenate a string with a number. For example, I would like to do Dinesh plus 29. So it will throw an error stating that it can only concatenate string, not integer, to the string. So if you want to concatenate a number to the string, you can just provide the string and plus. Instead of providing the number directly, you can typecast this number to the string using str operator and then do this plus, so that the number will be converted into string and both of them will be joined. So as you can see that it has shown us the joined result of both the strings. So this is called explicit conversion, which we have already spoke in our previous videos, which is data types in Python. If you have not watched about data types and type conversion, please watch the video before this. We will dive deeper into the type conversion functions like the string that we have, int, float, string, and many other functions in the future lessons. Now the next thing is the multiplication operator and string replication, which is the star operator. So just as the plus operator behaves differently with strings, the star operator also has a specific function when it is used with strings. Let's say when you do 5 into 3, it will multiply both the integers and provide us the multiplicated result. When it is used with a string and an integer, let's say Dinesh and into 3, this operation creates a new string that repeats the original string a number of times equal to the integer value. So string replication can be handy for creating patterns or repeating elements in your output. And there are limitations for this string replication as well. Like concatenation, string replication has some limitations. You can only use star with one string and one integer. Using it with two strings will result in an error. Let's say I multiply Dinesh with Verma. It will throw an error stating that it can't multiply sequence by non-int of type string. So the integer must be a whole number. Even if you use a floating point number with a string, it will result an error. If Dinesh is multiplied by 3.0, it will throw an error stating that it can only multiply integer with a string. So these limitations make sense when you think about it. So how would you multiply two words together or repeat a string a fractional number of times? That's not possible, right? When you look at the practical applications of these two functions, so string concatenation or replication are more than just fun tricks. They have practical uses in real programming. So concatenation is often used to build complex strings from smaller parts. Let's say that we have first name, which is Dinesh, and we also have last name Verma. So in many scenarios, like we might need to get full name. Full name can be achieved by adding first name and last name. So this is one of the frequently used operation in real-time scenarios as well. And when you print full name, you will see the full name. So if you want to add a space in between that, after the first name, you can introduce a space and then add the last name. So now if you print full name, it will introduce a space between the first and the last name. And similar to this, concatenation, replication can be useful for creating visual separators or patterns. Let's say that you are printing something. After you have printed this, you want to print some separation operator, which is, let's say that you want to print equal to, just to separate this and form a line between. Let's say you want to print something like this, a separation or a line. So you can just do equal to operator and multiply it with 20 or 30 or whatever the number you need. Instead of writing an ugly code which looks like this, you can just use the smaller string and multiply it with any number. So this could be used to create a line in a text-based interface or logs. So remember, as you continue your Python journey, you might find more ways to manipulate strings. These are just the beginning. So practice using string concatenation and replication in your programs. Experiment with different combinations and see what you can create. Happy coding.